Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to start doing some work on the 4AGE swapped Corolla. So let's get into today's video. Alright, so now that we're going to be starting to clean up this build and clean up some wiring, clean up the interior, install the wideband, stuff like that, we're going to start getting it ready for the turbo kit that we're going to be putting on it. So first things first, I'm going to start by cleaning this thing out. It has a lot of junk in it, a lot of parts that are not needed. Also, I have to adjust the clutch engagement. The clutch engagement is all the way at the top of the pedal, and if you guys drive stick shift, you would know that usually the engagement is like it's almost right off the floor. Like as soon as you let up, it's right there, or in the middle of the pedal, whichever you prefer. You can adjust it to that, but it's right at the top. So even when I'm speed shifting it and driving it, I heard like it was slipping, but it was actually that I still had a little bit of pressure on the pedal, and the engagement is right at the top. So got to adjust the engagement. I have to address some I think wiring in the hood, do a little bit of wiping down, a little bit of cleaning up, and get this thing ready for me to install the wideband. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with the inside. This is the mess that I'm talking about here. Definitely got to get this thing cleaned up. Sorry if you guys are hearing any wind noise. It's like crazy windy outside. We got like a storm that's nearby us, so bear with me when it comes to the wind noise. And now it's starting to rain, so I picked the perfect time to do this. So most likely I won't be able to record. I don't want to damage my camera, so I'm just going to clean this thing out and clean up the interior, and then show you guys how it is when I start recording again, because definitely don't want to wet this camera out. Alright, so it's tidy, I'd say. All the garbage is out of it. Still got that little kick panel over there to screw up, and this is the wideband. Got a lot of garbage out of it, a whole bag full, and then a couple of stuff I'm going to be keeping. But I'm going to keep going at it. Going to get that kick panel screwed up. Also going to be taking some shop cloths, probably some Joy and water or some degreaser if I can find it, and try to clean the engine bay just a little bit and tidy this thing up. All right, so it's completely wiped down. I used Joy and bleach, you know, just as to cut some of that grease, but definitely gonna need to buy some degreaser and some paint. Most likely I'm gonna be repainting all of these painted pieces because they're just scuffed up, they're full of oil, stuff like that. The greasing down in the back here got a lot of oil, or slick I should say, I don't know what that is, but probably gonna do some cleaning to the firewall and everything around it and try to get some type of primer or paint on it eventually, but for right now, cleaning it like this should be fine. So let me show you guys how I did the kick panel. Oh, well, got one piece that fell off. Push that back on. All right, so basically there's one screw here that you can't see. I put one self-tapping up here and one self-tapping down here, and now it's pretty sturdy and in place. So I'm gonna get the camera set up and we're gonna take this thing for a drive. All right, so we're just gonna be taking this thing on a quick run. I'm gonna be using the Car Performance app to just see what the car does in the quarter and, you know, 60 foot, stuff like that. The last time I had it, it actually used to run 15.8 or 16 seconds in the quarter, which is, it isn't really fast, but you know, it's better than I think it's doing now. The big part of why it's running the way it is now is because the O2 sensor or the wideband is not installed, so that's letting exhaust gases out, and also it's not tuned anymore from the AFCs. So basically how this app works is that I'm going to press start, and when I put it down, it's going to wait for me to launch and start moving. See, it says fixed, press start. The count will start when you start to move. So I'm just going to rest it right in the seat. I'm going to see what this thing can do. So we had a bit of issues. I think this thing is just low on fuel. It really is on E, so shouldn't be running it that hard, but we ran 20 seconds in a quarter mile doing 55 miles an hour. So definitely not its best time, and we need to get that wideband installed so we can tune this thing. I'm going to give it one more run and then I'm going to call it quits for today. Also guys, remember it is raining. That's going to kill my traction. Let's try this thing again. So we just got back from running it. This thing is really running super bad. Definitely I think it has a lot to do with the fuel being on E, but also it doesn't have a wideband and it has a super AFC, and this thing needs to be tuned. Probably the next time you guys see me working on this thing, we're going to be installing that wideband and we're going to be taking it on a few runs. I'm going to put probably half a tank in this thing and we're going to tune it non-stop, just getting this thing right, and then we should be good to go from there. And also I think I want to get this thing compression tested before we put the boost on it, just to make sure all the cylinders are good, all the rings are good, and just exactly how high of a compression number we're getting on all of the cylinders. You know, the higher the compression number is, the worse it is for boost, so we want to make sure this thing runs really safe. But we're going to get into all of that on another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.